Some animals were lost for decades, even centuries. Declared extinct, forgotten by science. But nature had other plans. Discover the miraculous return of 5 incredible creatures, and why their survival is a story of hope for our planet. Subscribe for more true wildlife miracles. They vanished, but they weren't gone. Meet the animals that beat extinction. Extinction is supposed to be forever. But sometimes, nature writes a different ending. Today, you'll meet 5 creatures who vanished from human eyes, only to make an epic return against all odds. Let's dive into these unbelievable survival stories. Lord Howe Island Phasmid, the giant stick insect returns. Imagine an insect so big and strange it was nicknamed the tree lobster. Native to Lord Howe Island, Australia, the Lord Howe Island Phasmid once crawled through the trees in great numbers, until 1918, when rats accidentally introduced by a ship wiped them out. Declared extinct for 80 years, the species lived only in faded museum jars, until climbers exploring Ball's Pyramid, a steep, rocky sea stack 20 kilometers from the island, found fresh insect droppings. Incredibly, a small population of tree lobsters had survived on this isolated rock. Ball's Pyramid is a jagged spire rising dramatically from the ocean, offering few safe spots for animals, and yet, 24 phasmids had made it their home, hidden under a single bush. Today, conservation programs are working to reintroduce this gentle giant back to its island. The Lord Howe Phasmid reminds us, life always finds a way, even clinging to the edge of a cliff. Chinese giant salamander, ancient survivor of the dinosaurs. Deep beneath China's rivers, in cold, rocky pools, and ancient titan hides. The Chinese giant salamander, growing up to 5 feet long, is the largest amphibian in the world. These bizarre creatures have lived since the Jurassic era, surviving alongside dinosaurs for 170 million years. Sadly, habitat destruction and overhunting for luxury food drove their numbers into a terrifying decline. For years, scientists feared they had gone extinct in the wild. Then, in a miracle of nature, isolated groups of wild Chinese giant salamanders were rediscovered in remote mountain streams. These living fossils are perfectly adapted to cold, oxygen-rich waters. Despite their alien appearance, slimy, wrinkled, with tiny eyes, they are gentle predators, feeding on fish, crabs, and insects. Conservationists are now racing against time to protect these last survivors with breeding programs and habitat restoration. The Chinese giant salamander isn't just an animal, it's living history. Desert tortoise, slow and steady comeback. In the scorching deserts of the American Southwest, a true survivor plods on, the desert tortoise. These ancient reptiles were once common across Nevada, California, and Arizona, living up to 80 years or more. However, habitat destruction, invasive species, and climate change devastated their populations. Entire areas were declared empty, and for a time, some believed the desert tortoise had vanished from large parts of its range. Yet hidden in remote valleys and rugged hillsides, small, stubborn populations endured. These tortoises are built for survival. They dig deep burrows to escape extreme heat, store water in their bladders for months, and eat hardy desert plants. Recent conservation efforts have focused on protecting critical habitats, controlling invasive species, and even relocating tortoises to safer areas. Slow and steady truly wins the race, and thanks to ongoing recovery work, the desert tortoise continues to defy extinction, one dusty step at a time. Pocket frog, tiny survivor rediscovered after a century. Tiny enough to fit in a human palm, the pocket frog was long considered a myth. Native to the lush western Ghats of India, this little amphibian was last seen in the 1880s, and after more than 100 years without sightings, scientists declared it extinct. But in 2003, a research team trekking through the dense undergrowth made a miraculous discovery, the pocket frog, alive and hopping. Barely 3 centimeters long, these frogs are masters of camouflage, blending into wet leaves and moss. Their small size, nocturnal habits, and remote habitat had helped them escape notice for generations. Pocket frogs are vital indicators of healthy ecosystems, as amphibians are often the first creatures to suffer from environmental decline. Their rediscovery is not just about one species, it's a sign that India's hidden rainforests still hold secrets waiting to be protected. Today, the pocket frog's fragile home remains under threat, but conservationists are working tirelessly to ensure this tiny miracle continues to thrive. Philippine tarsier, ghost primate found again. With giant eyes and delicate fingers, the Philippine tarsier looks almost otherworldly. This tiny primate, once found across several islands, suffered massive declines due to habitat loss and hunting. By the late 20th century, many feared it had quietly gone extinct in the wild. Then, in remote pockets of jungle, tiny groups of tarsiers were found clinging to survival. Tarsiers are incredible creatures. They can rotate their heads almost 180 degrees, leap astonishing distances between trees, and hunt insects at night using their massive night vision eyes. They are fiercely shy and incredibly sensitive. Even slight environmental changes can cause them to stop breeding or even die from stress. Today, conservationists have established protected areas and sanctuaries where tarsiers can thrive away from human disturbance. Their survival is a delicate miracle, and a powerful reminder of why we must protect the last wild places on Earth. Nature doesn't give up easily. From giant salamanders to palm-sized frogs, these comeback stories prove that hope is never extinct. Which animals' return amazed you the most? Tell us in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe for more real-life stories of survival, discovery, and wonder. Hit the bell icon, because the next comeback story might be even more unbelievable.